happy National League Wild Card Day game, everybody. How we doing?
Yeah. What up?
Ready to go. Let's play the game.
Well, we got about...
let's break it down for 5 more weeks.
Yeah.
6 more hours to go.
God.
So that being said, here's the deal, though. We do have some news. I know it's not necessarily breaking because it was about 50 minutes ago. I'm not sure, though. Cam, I know you guys are heavy on the hockey.
Yeah.
I want to hear about this Yogi Berra in the shower story. Did you guys break down the Cardinals roster?
No, we did not break
Okay.
it because no one else is doing it. We should have probably known.
No,
Yeah.
It's all good. So I got the press release 12:16, so about 50 minutes ago. Here we go. So let's listen up here. I'll just read off everybody, gentlemen, and text line also, 855-282-8255. Give me your surprises, if there are any. Pitchers, 12 of them. Genesis Cabrera, Jack Flaherty, Gio Gallegos, Luis Garcia, Dakota Hudson, KK, TJ McFarland, Miles Michaelis, Andrew Miller, Alex Reyes, Adam Wainwright, Cody Whitley. That's your 12 pitchers. Catchers, just 2. Yachty and Andrew Kisner. Infielders, 8 of them. Nolan Arenado. They put him on the roster?
I can't believe that.
Matt Carpenter, Paul DeYoung, Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt, Jose Rondon, Edmundo Sosa. Here's one, Juan Yepez.
Yeah.
Juan Yepez is on the roster. The Rooster, as we call it. Outfielders, 4 of them. Harrison Bader, Dylan Carlson, Lars Nootbaar, and Tyler O'Neill.
Oh!
Gentlemen, anything stand out to you? You want me to go first?
Sure, you can go first.
Well, I was just asking. Andrew Miller,
It's your show. Go ahead.
Andrew Miller, no, it's our show. It's a show of the people. Andrew Miller, I thought he was borderline. So he makes the roster. Juan Yepez, I think, is a not a surprise because when he traveled yesterday, you knew that was a possibility. Just so folks know, Juan Yepez, over AA and AAA this year, 27 homers, 77 RBI, 286 average, 383 on base, 586 slug for a 969 OPS. And his numbers were basically the same or just as good at AAA as opposed to AA. He's 23 years old, 6'1", 200. So I don't know if he's going to play, but Juan Yepez on the roster. Anything else jump out to you folks?
Go ahead.
The Yepez thing is interesting from this standpoint. He's never taken a major league at bat.
Mm-hmm.
And should you call upon him, you know it's going to be in a fairly decent situation, or important situation, I should say. Is that what you want your rookie to do in his first major league at bat? Hey, Kenley Jansen's out there. We really need that runner from second to score.
No relation.
Why don't you go out there and get that done for us, kid? And he may do it, and good for him. That's one I just kind of go.
What other options then?
And that's the question. I don't think there are any other options to go with at this point. If he wanted a veteran guy to fill that hole, I don't even think he's available. Is Austin Dean?
Dean.
Yeah, I think he's on the IL, or I don't know where he's at. But he wouldn't be a good option anyway. He hasn't been.
Do the Dodgers? Are the Dodgers in that situation too? Where do they have somebody on that roster that could do the exact same thing, that would be in the exact same situation, has no experience at all, or is that? Right? I mean, and you know what, with the Cardinals too, it's like, I don't know. Like the weird magic that they have since I don't know whenever. It's guys like that do jump in those big situations usually do pretty good, I guess, right? I mean,
yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know how to look at that, but if you have nobody else, then what are you supposed to do?
Well, here's the guy that, when I went through it, I didn't realize. So Jake Woodford is not on the roster.
He pitched on Sunday.
Right.
I don't think they want him for whatever. I'm just guessing if he was in the game, he'd be a long inning, either early or late, if you go in extra innings, and I don't know that he's available to go long right now.
That's the thing. And he had 2 days rest, so he probably could only give you an inning anyway, which would be his bullpen-esque type situation. But,
yes.
I think, look, you have 26 guys on your roster. You're not going to use them all. And I understand, too, you just never know. You have to prepare for the potential situation of a 17-inning game. And even with that, though, you have a lot of guys who can give you length out of the bullpen. You have Dakota Hudson. You have Cody Whitley. You got multi-inning guys. Jack Flaherty, I think, at this point can go 2 innings. Alex Reyes can go 2 innings. I don't know if you want to go to him early. But for one game, remember, you can redo the roster, of course, for the National League Division Series if and when the Cardinals win. I like the fact that you dance with who brought you, right? So, I mean, you can say, okay, Matt Carpenter at this point, what is he going to do for you? Is he going to be your third pinch hitter? I understand that. But you know what? There's also something to not messing up the chemistry and the camaraderie, right? I mean, those guys are going to travel anyway. But like somebody like Andrew Miller, I don't think there's any chance he pitches in this game. Matt Carpenter, does he take an at-bat? He's probably what, Jim? The third pinch hitter, but still,
I would think so.
These are guys who,
but
when
you never
healthy,
know about the manager.
There you go.
He looks at him.
That's a good point.
It's different.
And if you have a matchup and you have the lefty and you want to go there and you say, look, here's a veteran guy, and you remember back to postseason history, and even if he's not the same player right now, you're thinking, hey, I've seen him do it in the postseason. This moment is not too big for him, or maybe I think it is too big for a younger player. And I'm not saying that's the case, but that could go into the decision-making with Mike Schilt.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many scenarios that could play out. If you're the manager, you're trying to play, I heard it from Cora the day before where he was going, I've been trying to play every scenario out in my head on how to make my roster out. And Roberts and Schilt have done the same thing. You know what? Yepez may come in there and just crush one. You go, there you go.
We did it right.
Right. Yeah. It's just one of those things. I go, man, I wish he had a couple of bats up here prior to getting thrown into the fire.
That's the game then, dude.
It is.
That's just a hard decision you got to make. I bet you they're going crazy, though. Like, even if you try to figure out your lineup when it comes to baseball like this, like, that's got to be just like, what do we do here?
Well, that's where I think the Cardinals' decision-making is not that difficult in terms of the lineup, because you just have guys who have solidified themselves recently where, look, now, when healthy, it's not a 50-50 call that you're going Edmundo Sosa over Paul DeJong. You just are.
Yep. He's
just better. At this point, he's better. Clearly, Yadier Molina, he had the banged-up shoulder last week, but you also knew, look, if they needed every game, I promise you, Yadier Molina was going to play those games. Okay, so Yadier Molina, he's out there. He's feeling good. Just kind of go up and down the lineup, though. You've had the outfield solidified, clearly. Dylan Carlson, Tyler O'Neill, Harrison Bader. Those are your starters right there. Edmundo Sosa, he has said, look, shortstop is my position. And then even kind of the hierarchy of pinch hitting. That's where you're probably going to, now clearly from the right side, I mean, you have Paul DeJong. You have from the left side Matt Carpenter there as a pinch hitting opportunity. But I don't think the Cardinals from a lineup standpoint have a lot of big questions, where if you throw that over to the Dodgers, because of the injury to Max Muncy, they have legit decisions with a couple guys where you're also, I don't know if nostalgia is the right word, but you have Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols is Albert Pujols. However, Albert Pujols versus right-handers these days is not a major league, even average player. He's really good against lefties still. But you're thinking, man, Albert Pujols, all those amazing postseason moments. Do I throw him a start? Who's the other guy you're looking at? Cody Bellinger has been amazing. Cody Bellinger has been the MVP, but guess what? He's hitting like garbage this year. So I do think from a lineup standpoint that the Dodgers have more difficult decisions, whereas Mike Schilt, there probably will be some influence in terms of if Adam Wainwright isn't nails or if he only goes 4 or 5 innings. And by the way, when I say that, I'm not hoping for that. But as we've discussed, if you go 7 in the regular season, that's probably more like 5+ in the postseason. Yep. Look at Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole makes $36 million per year.
324, baby.
Garrett Cole's contract, $324 million. He's paid exactly for that game last night. He is a Cy Young Award winner, and he threw 2 innings. So, and I'm just saying that because if you don't think that Max Scherzer can get knocked out in 2 innings, if you don't think that Adam Wainwright can get knocked out in an inning and a third, you're wrong. Because in a 1-game do or die, if you allow a run or 2 runs like Garrett Cole did, and then he allowed the third, but they're not going to allow you to have 2 bad innings.
Yeah.
You're certainly not going to get 3 bad innings in a do or die. Whereas if that's game 1 of a series, okay, maybe you let
stretch him out a little bit.
Maybe you let him kind of go through the order a couple times, and you're not as worried about, okay, if it's 3-4 runs, it's a 7-game series, it's a 5-game series. But in a do or die, if Scherzer's not on, if Waino's not on, just like yesterday, Garrett Cole was not on, he was yanked in the third. Look at Eovaldi. Eovaldi struck out 8 dudes, and he gives up the home run to Anthony Rizzo.
Yep.
And then just basically one more base runner. Even though he only had, about 70-ish pitches, he'd struck out 8, and it was gone.
Gone, so.
5 1/3. So again, now in the regular season, I guarantee you that Nathan Eovaldi throws 7 innings in that game.
I saw the funniest meme today. It's Garrett Cole goes, "You give me $324 million, I'll give you 2 innings." Like, good God. How bad did he feel after? That was a fun game to watch. And how about, too, by the way, last night, Aaron Judge thinks he hits a bomb, doesn't, just trots away like doop, 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 hits the green monster, comes down. Even the announcer is like, "Oh, it's gone." Wait a minute. What did I just say there? Well, no, it hit the green monster and it came back down. Now he hit a single. He didn't even run it out. Like, I don't know, man. That ballpark's goofy. It is. I didn't want them to win.
By the way, the Dodgers roster, 10 pitchers, 16 position players.
How about that?
The pitching staff is tonight's starter, obviously Scherzer, Blake Trinan, Julio Urias, Alex Vesia, Corey Knebel, Joe Kelly, Kenley Jansen, Bruce Starr, Garrett Cole, Tony Gonsolin, and Phil Bickford. So not as many starters. No.
As the Cardinals. So you have Urias, clearly.
Yeah, Urias through Saturday.
Yeah.
Then Buehler through Sunday, so they're not even putting him on the roster. David Price isn't on here, which I think is a little interesting.
I think the way the Dodgers almost went that Padres route towards the end of the season. Now, it wasn't as Padres in the sense of towards the end of the season, the Padres were bullpenning 2 games every turn. But the Dodgers basically had a bullpen game every turn of the rotation. Now, for a while there, that was David Price as an opener, and then they lengthened him out a little bit. But I do think those relievers you mentioned, a lot of those Dodgers guys can go 2 innings. And look, you're probably not going to need all these guys, but you do have to have the scenario of a 16-inning game.
Yep.
Because we don't have the runner on second situation. And so the last thing you'd ever want is, oh, my God, it is tied at 3 in the 15th, and I got my last dude, and he's running out of gas in a do-or-die game. So I get it why you err on the side. Like, if you're Mike Schilt, it would have to be the craziest game in the history of baseball for Mike Schilt to run out of pitching. I mean, he's got a lot of innings covered.
Yeah.
He has a lot of innings covered.
Doug's work husband chimes in and goes, you need somebody warming up in the bullpen at all times ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, you can't wait. I mean, you really can't. The part of the scenario of the situation is you got the 3-batter rule, but as we've seen with the Cardinal team, to the texter's point, you could have 3 consecutive pitches. There's your 3 batters, and the guy's in trouble. And you got to go get him. You can't wait. Oh, wait a minute! I got to go get a guy up now. He's only throwing 3 pitches. You got to have somebody ready
to
like
go.
Like the snap of a, hey, it's your turn. Come on, get ready.
That's what makes it so interesting and fun. Again, we talked about it yesterday, just like all the little stuff that we don't like sometimes during the regular season. And now everything's so strategic. You're like, ooh, what are they doing? Dude, he doesn't have it, does he? Oh, he doesn't have his stuff. What are they going to do? Put another guy in. It's just so damn stressful. It's great.
I'll bring this up, and this is the Jack Flaherty question. I appreciate that he earned his right to be on that roster. He looked pretty good on Sunday when he pitched. But what if he gets in there and all of a sudden you realize he doesn't have it? And that, the first batter he faces, you go, uh-oh, he's not right. He's stuck there for 2 more guys. And if the next 2 guys are Mookie Betts and Corey Seager, good luck. Hold your breath. Hope and pray.
Yeah, and I think you're going to have that with some of these guys, though. So let's just say, and we're talking about a scenario where I think Jack Flaherty is used if Waino doesn't go, let's say, 5 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Waino even goes 5, I think you can get through without using Jack Flaherty. Now, you could also make the case of, hey, he's a hell of a weapon. But I understand the reluctance just with, we're only talking about a couple, 2, 3 bullpen outings from Jack Flaherty.
Yep.
Now, if Waino gets knocked out after 2 2/3, whatever it is, that's where I'd probably go to, go to a reliever who gets you out of the jam and then bring in Jack Flaherty for a clean inning.
Yeah.
And you're hoping and praying he can give you 2 innings. But I understand, even though, in my opinion, Jack Flaherty has high-end talent. He has high-end stuff. But you're also talking about a baseball game where the relievers, they're more secure, and I don't know if confident is the right word, but they're used to relieving. They're used to warming up at a certain pace, which is much quicker than a starter. Now, I'm not saying Jack Flaherty can't do that, but if Waino goes 5 or 6 and it's a close game, that's where I would probably rely on your relievers. And that is, okay, if it's a lefty matchup, if you need a double play ball, it's easy. It's TJ McFarland. If you need to go to a lefty for hopefully a full inning, it's clear. It's Genesis Cabrera, and it looks like he is healthy now. And then if you need your right-handed flamethrowers, to me, Jim, I'd like your opinion here. To me, I'm going Luis Garcia first. I'm wanting, if it's a save situation, clearly to have Gio Gallegos. I'm not going to Alex Reyes that early in this game.
You know what? I'm confident in Reyes that he's over his issues, but
well, here's the question:
But
are you
still going to walk guys?
That's my question. Are you going to him before Luis Garcia?
You know what? I might, in this respect, if I think Luis Garcia is my 8th inning guy, I'll go to Reyes earlier. Does that make sense to you? Or am I not following your line of questioning?
Well, I'm saying if Waino gives you 5 or 6, and you can just use bullpen guys, I would try to avoid Alex Reyes if it's a 9-inning game. Now, if Waino goes 2 1/3, that's where I think Flaherty comes into play, Reyes comes into play, and some more different guys. But if you ask Mike Schilt, and he wouldn't tell us publicly, but if Waino is able to give you a quality start, there's only probably about 5 guys Mike Schilt would like to pitch tonight. And I would think that would be Waino, McFarland, Cabrera, Garcia, Gallegos. And you love Flaherty's upside, but the role there, I understand the reluctance. And Alex Reyes, you love the upside, but 1 walk or 2 walks could kill you in this game.
In a perfect scenario, yes. Waino gives you 6, and then you go McFarland, Garcia, Gallegos, or Cabrera, Gallegos. That's the perfect scenario. If it's 4 innings, like you said, then Reyes is in that conversation to come into the 4th inning along with a Cody Whitley, one of those 2 guys. Because if you have to go to a guy that early, it's whoever, it's Whitley or Reyes. Then the guy who doesn't pitch in the 4th or the 5th ends up being your 10th or 11th inning guy. You got to save somebody for later, and I would save one of those guys for later.
Right, you have length with Flaherty, with Reyes, with a Whitley as well.
Yeah.
I think this is interesting because you're watching that game last night, and I did want a little more of a close game.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Yankees, Red Sox, you were hoping for more drama. There really wasn't that much drama. And so after the fact, clearly Nathan Eovaldi pitched really well. Garrett Cole didn't. So I was trying to go back and look and see, okay, the way the guy pitched in the last 3-4 outings before, does that really matter in a wild card game? So look at Eovaldi. Eovaldi was really good for basically the last 2 months for the most part, except for 2 outings where he got lit up for 7 earned runs. And one of those was against the Yankees on September 24th. So even though he was good for a couple months, his couple stinkers were really bad. And that's where I don't know how much you can draw from that.
Yeah, what does that mean, though?
Well, here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is basically, 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago, Nathan Eovaldi pitched against the Yankees, went 2 2/3, allowed 7 hits, 7 earned runs. He walked 2 batters, and he struck out 0 guys. And basically, 10-ish days later, when everything was on the line, against the same exact team, the Yankees, he shoved and went 5 1/3 innings and struck out 8 guys.
So that's like when people put the stat up, and I do this just like you do with hockey. It's like, well, Vladdy was great against Buffalo Sabres for the past 5 years. He's a goal scorer against the Sabres. What does that mean? What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. He probably felt good, and they probably had. But like now, like the team's different. Everything's different. So I don't understand that. 10 days ago, you had a bad start. He might have had a flu that day. He might have had a weird thing on his finger. I mean, you know how it is. Gosh, you bump your finger, and now all of a sudden you can't throw a damn ball. So there's so many different variables that can go into it. But if that guy knows how to throw heat, man, and you're confident in him, I don't give a damn what you did 10 days ago.
So here's the thing with Garrett Cole, though. So Evaldi's really bad outing was a one-off. For that dude to strike out 0 batters in a game, something has to be off. And that was the case in that Yankee start, which was 2 starts before the American League wildcard game. But look at Garrett Cole. And I'm doing this after the fact because maybe when we look at Adam Wainwright's and Max Scherzer, it can tell us a little bit about what could potentially happen. But Garrett Cole, in his previous 3 outings, allowed 7 earned in 5 2/3. Then he had 3 allowed in 6, so quality start, and 5 earned runs in 6 innings. So he was not good at all, basically, in the final 3 starts before that outing yesterday, where he also wasn't very good. So, again, I don't know if this really means anything. For example, Max Scherzer, where the Dodgers have won every single start he's pitched since the trade, 11 starts. Now, he's been ridiculously good until his last 2 outings. So he's been nails. We're talking 8 innings with 13 strikeout type performances, which was against the Cardinals, if you remember. Mm-hmm. But then his last 2 outings, 5 innings, allowing 5 earned runs against Colorado. That was in Colorado. And then against the Padres, 5 1/3, 11 hits, 5 earned runs. So you can say, okay, Max Scherzer has not been sharp at all his last 2 times out. That being said, Max Scherzer is a Hall of Famer.
He's Max Scherzer.
He's Max Scherzer. He has 2 different colored eyes.
Yep, I was going to say it.
He's a 3-time Cy Young Award winner. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit if he pitches 7 innings, 1 run
Let me ask you this.
with 10 strikeouts.
What do they have to do in that particular moment, like in those days off as a pitcher, to prove to somebody that you got your stuff back? Like, what do you do? Like, are they evaluating it, in pitching? What do you do to show them? Like, is it just like, no, you're you, I trust you, let's go. I don't give a damn about the last outing. How do they prove it to these coaches as a pitcher?
Well, you don't have to show them, in the sense, like, there's nothing Max Scherzer has to do in the 4 days before the start to prove to the Dodgers, I'm getting the ball. He's getting the ball.
Okay.
We all know that. Same with, look, there's a reason Max Scherzer makes $30 million a year. By the way, he's probably going to get a 3-year contract coming off this to age 40. He said he wants to pitch to age 40. Okay?
What if he gets lit up?
Oh.
Is he making $40 million? Is he making $32 million?
Well, if Max Scherzer gets lit up in the wild card game, in one game, I don't think it will have any impact whatsoever on his contract. Just because
he's going to make it $40 million anyway.
He's had an unbelievable season. $40 million is a good question, because for a 3-year deal, that's kind of a Trevor Bauer type deal. Even though Trevor Bauer,
what's he doing?
Right, not even getting into all of that craziness.
Good God. That guy.
But Trevor Bauer's about what? He's got to be close to 10 years younger, 8-9 years younger than Max Scherzer. So you would never really want to pay a guy in his age 38, 39, 40 seasons that much money. But if there's one guy I'm paying that to, it's Max Scherzer. I mean, look at Waino. Waino's deal for next year, when he's 40 and he's going to turn 41, he's making $17.5 million. That's a lot. But guess what? But guess what? He deserves that.
Yeah, he does. 17, hey? Good for him. Good for him. Yeah, I was just wondering about, like, if Mo is watching this game, of course he is, and he gets lit up, Max Scherzer gets lit up in 2. I mean, is he like, I mean, yeah, because it's going to help the Cardinals, but he's like, man, maybe I could throw $32 million at him instead of 40 because he's got just barreled. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'd like to get the guy. Sometimes you got to overpay for some guys. It depends on the length, too, but that guy he's intimidating for sure.
The only way he won't get paid is, one, he doesn't pitch well today, and then tomorrow we find out he was dealing with elbow, shoulder, something. Not saying he is. That's the only way he doesn't get paid, because then everybody goes, well, that's why he wasn't good. Yeah. But it could come out and be Max Scherzer today, and everybody will forget those last 2 starts and go, man, the Giants are in trouble. That's what they'll be saying.
And Max Scherzer just turned 37 at the end of July. So next year, you're talking about his age 37 season. So you're talking 37, 38, 39. And remember, this is a guy whose pedigree is Hall of Fame, is 3-time Cy Young Award winner. So if Adam Wainwright is getting $17.5 million on a 1-year deal for his age 40 season, it would not surprise me one bit if Max Scherzer is getting double that AAV plus for three seasons.
How much money has he made so far? Did he sign a
his
monster ticket?
So his deal, I'm looking at it right now. He had some deferred money, but it was 7 years, $191.4 million.
Poor guy. Does he live in St. Louis?
I don't think he does
he
anymore.
has a house in Jupiter.
Does he?
Yeah.
Go figure.
So they're down.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he could have a house somewhere else too, but I know he has one in Jupiter.
The wealthy part of where does he live? Somewhere here. He's probably like, I don't need to have a house in St. Louis. I'll live in Jupiter. It's quite lovely.
And he's got his parents here. He can always crash on the couch.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah,
he can
I'm sure
afford
he's
a
going
nice hotel with that type of
Sleep on your parents' couch.
change.
Making $40 million a year. Oh, Lord. I got a good one here. Hey, guys, it was kind of cool night last night watching the game. At one time, I knew both pitchers in the game. Tanner Huck is from Collinsville, and Chad Green is from Effingham.
Mm-hmm. Tanner Houck's
Down by the water.
legit. Mm-hmm. Tanner Houck, Collinsville, went to Mizzou, first-round pick.
Yep, they're talking about him.
I talked with him last year, and we went to his his mom and his family had a watch party for his Major League debut last year. And he was really good at the end of the season. He made something like 3 starts and struck out a bunch of guys. And so I think long-term his role as a starter, but he could be a really valuable bullpen piece for the Red Sox. And if you watched him last night, he's super calm. And if you look at his mechanics, he does look like a right-handed version of Chris Sale. The way he throws, kind of crossfire.
Yeah, he does.
And I was just watching him. By the way, he's got the sleeve tat. He's got the necklace, right, with the cross. He's got a little facial hair where he looks badass.
Kind of looks cool, man.
And so he's out there a reliever now, a little intimidation.
Yeah.
And what I noticed about him was he looked extremely calm. And sometimes when you have a younger player, especially a pitcher, there are guys where the moment can be too big for them or it's hard to slow it down. It's hard to control your breathing. And you can even see that. There's a reason that Mike Maddox, he goes out there and he puts his arm on the pitcher's shoulder. And everybody at first thought, oh, he's doing that to kind of say, hey, buddy, how we doing? And he's doing that to check your pulse.
Yep.
To see how fast is that heart beating. And I was watching Tanner Houck last night. He looked ridiculously calm, cool, and collected for a do-or-die wild card game, and he went out there and pitched really well.
So Maddox goes out there and puts his arm around you and presses against your neck to get your heartbeat?
Well, no. As he's going out there, when you're going out there to talk to your pitcher, try to calm him down.
Yeah.
Maybe talk about your execution of the next pitch. What are we going to try to do? But part of that is he very gently puts his hand on your shoulder, and it looks like a fatherly thing. Like you do, like, hey, buddy, hey, we're good. Let's roll a double play ball. But part of that also is he's able to feel the heart rate there.
Yep.
And just kind of see how's this dude doing.
Or if you're shaking, like, no, you get amped up, man. No, that makes sense. We got one here. Oh, if Waino goes short, it has to be Hudson up next. That's a Jobu chiming in.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a possibility as well, especially if you're looking for, I mean,
we're talking second or third inning, yeah.
Yeah, at that point, the whole blueprint gets blown up.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to a Hudson or a Flaherty, I'm good with it there. And that's also probably situation driven, where if you need a double play ball,
energy drink,
Dakota Hudson. Hey, me too. Rockstar. By the way,
I had to let people know.
I'm so easily.
I'm just saying. Cheers, baby.
Cheers.
Big game tonight.
I so quickly can lose my train of thought, but I brushed my teeth right before I got here.
Oh.
And then I went lemonade Rockstar.
We appreciate that.
No.
But it's bad
but
taste.
It's like that back in the day when you were a kid, and if you tried that orange juice right after brushing your teeth. But now it tastes just fantastic. No, but so Flaherty, I think if you need a strikeout and you're going to a long guy, I think you go to Flaherty. If you're looking for a double play, you're going to Dakota Hudson. Dakota Hudson throws bowling balls. He throws just power sinkers. So I think there's some matchup situations there as well in terms of, and this is where everything gets blown up. If Adam Wainwright allows 3 or 4 runs in the first 2 or 3, everything we just mentioned gets blown up. Your roles of, hey, I want to go to McFarland first, boom, go to Genesis Cabrera if there's a bunch of lefties, go to Garcia if the matchup is there. Hopefully you have a lead, you hand the ball to Gio Gallegos. If Waino gets blown up, throw that out the window, and that's where, yes, you could see Hudson for 2 innings, you could see Flaherty for an inning and 2/3, whatever the case may be.
Big Ball chimes in and goes, is there a good scenario where you will use Miller? That's the biggest question on the roster for me.
I wouldn't.
At this point, probably not. But, I mean, if there's one left-handed bat you got to get out in a situation, I mean, use McFarland. and gets you the third out of the inning.
There you go.
That way he only faces one guy.
Okay.
Then you think about that. He doesn't overly give you confidence in what he's been doing, but if that's one scenario where I could go, okay, I need one out, I get a left-handed bat, if I get this out, I'm out of the inning, and it saves me, then I'd use Miller at that point. But he's just so inconsistent. I mean, he could come in and he could just throw 4 straight balls, not even close to the plate, and you're like, well, there we go, we just lost the game.
Yeah.
Or he could do the job you asked for, and you go, good, now we're good to go, let's go get him next thing. There's just a lot of what-ifs with this whole game.
A couple other big things that people are talking about is the Bo Bevo Mill chimes in and goes, guys, let's not forget who is working behind the plate tonight. None other than Cowboy Country Joe West. At least Angel Hernandez is not in this playoff game. He is in the NLDS. Jesus.
Good old Joe West and his karaoke.
Is he done?
And his country album.
This is last year for him.
Can he be done? It's like being a politician for 80 years, and enough's enough.
I would hate. Look, we love chirping Joe West. We love chirping Angel Hernandez. It would suck though if tomorrow we're talking about those guys.
Oh,
now
doesn't it help Wayno though?
I'll say this though. If it was a call that was blown that affected the Cardinals in a positive way, we're probably okay with it. But big picture, you don't want the umpire to affect a one-game playoff. Like yesterday. Was there any calls? It was a 6-2 game. It wasn't that close. It was just one team beat the other. Now, I would like for tonight, okay, we're in St. Louis, so you want the Cardinals to win 9-0. But last night was kind of boring, to be honest with you.
I agree with you.
I was very excited to watch that game.
I know.
And the Boston Red Sox just, they beat them systematically, kind of grinded out that win. I mean, they got the lead. They never trailed. And they kept tacking on inning by inning where you never really felt beyond that inning where they had the runner thrown out the plate, right? Off the stand double. After that throw out at the plate, I never really thought the Yankees were going to win that game.
Let me get this text.
That ended everything.
Yes.
Momentum done. We'll see you next year.
Where did that text go? Where I said, I mixed up the players. It was Giancarlo Stanton that thought he hit the bomb, right? And he didn't run it out, and he only got a single. But then he was the one bitching at the third base coach for letting the other big boy get thrown out at home plate. So it just kind of goes back. He thinks he hit the bomb, and then he just kind of trots out there. Even Dougie Vaughn was chirping all the guys about that this morning.
Well, that's a play where that is a huge momentum swing, where it's easy to say right now, which I just did, that the Red Sox won a nice, easy 6-2 game. However, that was the momentum changer, where I know it's easy to go Monday morning quarterback, but that's not a send with one out. That's clearly a 2-out send. But he was dead to rights.
Oh,
that wasn't like a bang bang play. That's if a major league caliber outfield infield tandem make your typical relay throw, that guy's out a very high percentage of the time, and that was the case. Look, that was a bad send. That's a bad send with one out. Clearly with 2 outs, all right, roll the dice. And look, if you then have runners at first and third or second and third, depending on what happened with Stanton there, that's where you start to put the pressure on the Red Sox. But that was a huge momentum swing where right there, the Yankees are feeling really good about themselves. You throw that runner out at the plate, and all that momentum swings right back to
see you later
to the Red Sox. Yep. And look, that could happen with the Cardinals.
No doubt.
And I say this because the Cardinals are the best defensive team in baseball. I mean, there could be a momentum changing play. Look at Dylan Carlson. He throws a ton of guys out. People still challenge him. He has a very accurate arm. Tyler O'Neill has a very accurate arm. And Harrison Bader, we know he covers a ton of ground. There could be, and I'm not even mentioning the infield, by the way, where you have Gold Glovers, Yachty, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado.
Here's a good one. 636 chimes and goes, when Cole was taken out of that game last night, you could read his lips. And he said, take me out. What a leader he is for that salary. Well, look.
He was awful, though.
He's awful. He knows he's done have it. So you give me the hell out of here so we have a chance. So I kind of get that, too. But, again, that meme just pops up. You give me 324, baby. I'll give you them 2 innings.
That's where, look, so last night I'm driving home and I was listening to a national show, I'll just say. And it is such an easy national narrative. It is. It's the easiest. No, it is. And just think about New York. You know how New York is? The way they talk, the way they think and feel.
Oh, I know.
You telling me?
You telling
we
me?
give this guy $324 million for Jesus. 2 innings? This guy can't even pitch 3 innings.
I could hear my buddies out there now bitching about it. I could just hear them. The Jersey and the New York. Oh, my God.
This guy's a bum.
He's a bum.
You kidding me?
He's a bum.
$324 million. I could do that.
I could do that.
I would actually.
I love it.
I should do this now. I guarantee you, if you listen to New York Sports Talk Radio, if you open up the phone lines, it's Joe from Jersey and Frankie from Staten Island, and they're going off, and it's probably ridiculously hilarious.
The funniest thing, those guys are so mean. They don't care. They are ruthless to you. And it's hilarious. That's why Timmy always have Joe Francesca, or whatever his name is, Mike Francesca, has those calls. He gets so flustered at times, but they take it for real, man. And you're paying a guy. These guys are working their ass off in New York City, grinding it, living in like a 6 feet by 6 foot apartment. And all of a sudden, this guy's making all that money. He gives you 2 innings. Nah, you're getting bashed, dude. Mm-hmm. You're getting bashed.
And you deserve it, but guess what? You can go on a nice vacation.
Exactly.
You can look at your checking account and feel.
So I don't feel sorry for you.
A lot better.
Unless you have mental illness. That's what we talked about that.